I, 45M, never thought I'd be writing this, but recent events have completely torn our family apart. My wife Hannah, 43F, and I have two children, Emma, 16F, and Jack, 13M. My sister Lisa, 41F, lives next door to us and has always been very involved in our lives, sometimes too involved. The story I'm about to share is about how my sister's obsession with controlling my daughter's life has destroyed our family bonds. Growing up, Lisa and I were incredibly close. Our parents died in a horrific car accident when I was 18 and she was 14. I remember that night clearly. We were waiting for them to come home from their anniversary dinner when we got the call from the hospital. Just like that, our whole world changed. As her only living relative, I became Lisa's legal guardian. I had to put my college plans on hold and took two jobs, working at a warehouse during the day and as a security guard at night. The schedule was brutal, but we had to survive somehow. Those early years were tough. Lisa was dealing with typical teenage issues while grieving our parents, and I was barely an adult myself trying to be both a brother and a parent to her. There were nights when I'd come home exhausted from work to find her crying in our parents' room, clutching their old photos. I did my best to comfort her, but I knew I could never replace what we lost. I met Hannah when I was 23 at the diner where she worked. She was different from anyone I'd ever met, understanding, patient, and most importantly, she connected with Lisa immediately. Hannah helped me raise Lisa through her difficult teenage years, becoming like a second mother to her. Lisa even asked Hannah to help her get ready for her high school prom and later was the maid of honor at our wedding. That's why what's happening now feels like such a betrayal. The current problem started 3 months ago when Emma told us she was pregnant. Hannah and I were in the kitchen making dinner when Emma came home from school looking worried. She sat us down and broke the news. Yes, it was shocking, and yes, we were disappointed at first, but we decided to support her after careful consideration. The father is her boyfriend Tom, 17M, whom she's been dating for 2 years. Tom is actually a remarkably responsible kid. He maintains a 3.8 GPA while working part-time at the local grocery store to save for college. His parents are equally supportive. They own a successful local business and have offered to help the kids however they can. When Emma told Tom about the pregnancy, he stepped up immediately, promising to be there for both Emma and the baby. Lisa, however, completely lost it when she found out. She was over at our house for our weekly family dinner when Emma and Tom announced the pregnancy to the extended family. Lisa dropped her fork mid-bite and stormed out of the dining room. From that day forward, she started showing up at our house at all hours, uninvited, to lecture Emma about how she was ruining her life. She would bring up our parents, saying they would be rolling in their graves seeing their granddaughter throw away her future. She even started comparing Emma to girls she'd read about in news articles about teen pregnancy gone wrong. What made the situation even more complex was Lisa's own past. 10 years ago, she lost a baby due to pregnancy complications, and she never fully recovered from that trauma. Her husband left her shortly after, and she's been single ever since. I understand she's still hurting, but she's projecting all her unresolved trauma onto Emma's situation. Things started getting really ugly when Lisa began spreading vicious rumors in our neighborhood. She told the other parents at Jack's soccer practice that Tom had taken advantage of Emma and that we were covering it up. She called Tom's parents and tried to convince them that Emma was lying about the baby being Tom's. She even went as far as going to Emma's school and attempted to talk to her teachers about keeping Tom and Emma separated during classes. She claimed she was doing this as a concerned aunt, but it was humiliating for both Emma and Tom. Other students started whispering about them in the hallways, and some parents even stopped letting their kids hang out with Emma. The situation reached its breaking point last week when Lisa cornered Emma after school. Emma usually walks home with her friends, but that day Lisa was waiting in her car outside the school. She showed Emma a bunch of photos she'd printed from the internet, pictures of struggling teen mothers, statistics about teen pregnancy and dropout rates, and stories about teen fathers abandoning their responsibilities. The worst part was when she told Emma that Tom would eventually abandon her just like Lisa's ex-husband had abandoned her during her pregnancy. Emma came home completely distraught, mascara running down her face, barely able to speak through her sobs. That night, she sent Tom a text breaking up with him, saying she couldn't handle the pressure anymore. I tried to talk to Lisa about her behavior, but she refused to listen to reason. She kept insisting she was protecting Emma from making the same mistakes she did. When I reminded her that her loss, while tragic, wasn't Emma's burden to bear, she exploded. She accused me of betraying her and forgetting everything we went through after our parents died. She brought up how she had supported my relationship with Hannah and how she'd always been there for our family. Hannah attempted to mediate the situation. She invited Lisa over for coffee and tried to help her understand that while her concerns came from a place of love, her actions were causing real harm to Emma. But Lisa wouldn't hear it. Instead, she started showing up at our house at random times, trying to convince Emma to either get an abortion or consider adoption. She would leave pamphlets about adoption agencies in our mailbox and send Emma links to articles about abortion clinics. Emma became increasingly stressed and withdrawn, which worried us about her health and the baby's well-being. When we asked Lisa to stop, she accused us of choosing Emma's mistake over family loyalty. I finally reached my breaking point yesterday. I told Lisa she was no longer welcome in our lives until she could respect our decisions as parents and apologize to Emma and Tom for her behavior. I changed our locks and made it clear that if she continued harassing Emma, I would get a restraining order. Lisa broke down crying in our driveway, saying I was throwing away our relationship just like I threw away my future to raise her. Those words hit hard. They brought back all the memories of those difficult years after our parents died. But I couldn't let her continue hurting my daughter. Now our extended family is divided. Our cousins say I'm being too harsh on Lisa given her past trauma, while our aunts support my decision to protect Emma. Emma is still dealing with the aftermath of breaking up with Tom, and his parents have reached out wanting to help fix things. I'm standing firm on my decision to keep Lisa away, but the guilt of cutting off my only sister, the last connection to our parents, is eating at me. Ida? Update 1: The situation has gotten significantly more complicated, and I need to share what's been happening. After my original post, Emma and Tom started texting again. It began with Tom sending Emma a simple message asking about her health and the baby. Emma had been miserable since their breakup, barely eating and spending most of her time in her room, so seeing her smile at her phone again gave us hope. They started having long conversations late into the night, trying to figure out how to move forward together. However, Lisa somehow found out about their reconnection, and her reaction was explosive. Last Thursday, she showed up at the grocery store where Tom works. I heard about what happened from multiple sources, including Tom's manager and several customers who witnessed the incident. Lisa walked into the store during Tom's shift and started screaming at him in front of customers, calling him a predator and accusing him of taking advantage of underage girls. She even pulled out her phone and started recording him while following him around the store, demanding he admit to manipulating Emma. Tom tried to stay professional and asked her to leave, but Lisa only got more aggressive. She started knocking items off the shelves and demanding to speak to the manager. When the manager came out, Lisa launched into a tirade about how they were employing a sexual predator and threatened to call the local news stations. Thankfully, the manager, Mr. Johnson, has known Tom since he started working there 2 years ago and was aware of the whole situation. Emma used to come to the store to have lunch with Tom during his breaks. Instead of firing Tom, Mr. Johnson called the police and had Lisa escorted out. He later told Tom's parents that Lisa had also been calling the store multiple times a day, trying to get information about Tom's schedule. But that's not even the worst part. Yesterday, Emma came to us with something disturbing. She showed us her social media accounts, where she'd been receiving messages from what appeared to be other teenage mothers sharing horror stories about their experiences. These accounts were sending her detailed stories about being abandoned by their boyfriends, dropping out of school, and ending up homeless. Emma had been emotional about these messages, thinking these were real people trying to warn her. However, she noticed something odd. All these accounts were created within the last month, and they all used similar writing patterns. Hannah and I spent hours going through these messages with Emma, and we discovered that Lisa had created at least 5 fake social media profiles. She'd been using these accounts to manipulate Emma's emotions and pressure her into terminating her pregnancy. She even went as far as to create a fake profile pretending to be Tom's non-existent ex-girlfriend, claiming he had gotten her pregnant last year and abandoned her. The most shocking revelation came yesterday when Hannah ran into Amanda, Lisa's ex-husband's new wife, at the grocery store. Hannah and Amanda got to talking, and what Amanda revealed turned our whole understanding of the situation upside down. According to Amanda, Lisa had never actually been pregnant 10 years ago. The miscarriage story that Lisa had used to guilt-trip Emma was completely fabricated. Amanda explained that Lisa's ex-husband, Mark, had left her because of her increasingly obsessive behavior and her lies about being pregnant to try to keep him from leaving. The real story, as Amanda explained it, was that Lisa had stopped taking her birth control without telling Mark and had been trying to get pregnant without his knowledge. When he discovered this and confronted her about it, she claimed she was already pregnant. Mark asked for proof, but Lisa kept making excuses about why she couldn't show him any test results or ultrasound images. This went on for months, with Lisa claiming to be pregnant while refusing to see a doctor. The final straw came when Mark discovered she had been browsing websites about how to fake pregnancy symptoms and documents. He left her immediately after that. Lisa had managed to keep this secret from all of us for a decade. She'd created such an elaborate story about her loss that none of us ever questioned it. She even had a small memorial shelf in her house with a teddy bear and supposed ultrasound photo, which we now know she must have gotten from the internet. When Hannah confronted Lisa with this information, trying to understand why she'd maintained this lie for so long, Lisa had a complete meltdown. She started screaming that none of us understood her pain and that she had to lie because everyone expected her to be happy about Hannah and me having kids while she couldn't have any of her own. She admitted to the fake pregnancy but tried to justify it by saying she had wanted a baby so badly that it felt real to her. She even tried to claim that her lie was different from other lies because she had genuinely grieved for this non-existent baby. Through all of this chaos, Tom's parents have been incredibly supportive. They came over last night for dinner, and we all had a long discussion about how to move forward. They've offered to convert their guest room into a nursery since they live closer to the high school, making it easier for Emma to continue her education after the baby arrives. They also want to help Tom and Emma set up a small business doing social media management for local companies, building on Tom's experience from helping at his parents' business. Seeing this level of support and acceptance from Tom's family seems to have made Lisa even more unstable. She's been telling neighbors and posting on community Facebook groups that Tom's parents are trying to steal Emma from us, claiming they're grooming her with promises of money and support. She's even started driving by their house multiple times a day, taking photos of who comes and goes. We're seriously considering that restraining order now, not just for Emma's protection but for everyone involved. Update: 2 things have taken an even more twisted turn in our family situation. We discovered something that explains Lisa's obsessive push for Emma to get an abortion or give up her baby for adoption. It turns out she's been involved in something far more sinister than we initially thought. Last week, a couple showed up at our front door, Michael and Jennifer Torres. They looked nervous and asked to speak with Lisa about the adoption paperwork she was handling. Hannah and I were completely confused. When we told them Lisa didn't live here and asked what adoption they were talking about, their faces fell. They pulled out their phones and showed us months of text messages between them and Lisa. The messages revealed that Lisa had been promising them Emma's baby. She had contacted them through an adoption support group on Facebook 3 months ago, presenting herself as Emma's legal guardian. She told them that Emma was a troubled teen who couldn't keep the baby, and that she, as the responsible adult in the family, was handling all the arrangements. The messages showed that Lisa had been sending them ultrasound pictures, which we now know she took secretly during one of Emma's doctor appointments, and updates about the pregnancy. The most disturbing part was that the Torres couple had already given Lisa $12,000 as a down payment for adoption expenses. Lisa had convinced them that the money would cover medical bills, legal fees, and support for Emma during the pregnancy. She even sent them fake receipts and documents with forged signatures. The couple was devastated when we told them the truth, that Lisa had no legal authority over Emma or her baby, and that Emma had never agreed to give up her child for adoption. When we dug deeper into Lisa's messages with the couple, we found she had created an entire fictional narrative about Emma. She told them Emma was struggling with drug addiction, completely false, that Tom had abandoned her, another lie, and that Emma's parents, us, were unfit to help with the baby due to financial problems. She had essentially crafted a story that painted herself as the only responsible adult in Emma's life. The revelations hit Emma hard, but they also gave her clarity. She immediately called Tom, and they had a long, honest conversation about everything that had happened. They decided to get back together, realizing that they had let Lisa's manipulation tear them apart. They're now working with Ms. Rodriguez, the school counselor, to plan their future together. The baby is healthy, they learned last week it's a girl, and seeing the ultrasound together seems to have strengthened their commitment to making things work. Tom has really stepped up. He talked with his manager and took on extra weekend shifts at the grocery store. He's also looking into community college programs that offer flexible schedules for working parents. His parents are helping him research scholarships specifically designed for young fathers continuing their education. Emma's been inspired by Tom's initiative and is working with her teachers to arrange a modified schedule that will let her complete her junior year before the baby arrives. However, Lisa's lies haven't just affected our family. We've learned she's been presenting herself to the neighborhood as a licensed counselor specializing in troubled teens. She's been charging parents for advice about their children while simultaneously spreading false stories about our family situation to validate her expertise. One parent, whose daughter was struggling with anxiety, paid Lisa $500 for counseling sessions before discovering Lisa had no credentials or training. This parent reported Lisa to the State Board of Licensed Counselors, which prompted an investigation into her activities. The investigator found that Lisa had been operating this fake counseling service for over 6 months, seeing multiple clients in her home office and even writing unofficial prescriptions for herbal supplements she claimed would help with various mental health issues. The Torres couple is planning to take legal action to recover their money. They've been kind enough to share all their documentation with us, which will help if we need to take further legal steps to protect Emma. Tom's parents have put us in touch with their family lawyer, who is helping us understand our options. We held a family meeting last night. Emma, Tom, both sets of parents, and Jack, who's been struggling to understand everything that's happening. We all agreed that we need to focus on the future and create a stable environment for Emma, Tom, and their daughter. Tom's mom suggested we start planning a small baby shower, something positive to look forward to after all this stress. Seeing everyone come together to support these kids has been the one bright spot in this whole mess. Update 3: The dust has finally settled on this whole situation, though not in a way anyone could have predicted. Lisa moved away last month after the investigation into her fake counseling business became serious. The state board found evidence that she had counseled at least 15 different families, collecting over $7,000 in fees while dispensing potentially harmful advice about mental health and medication. Before she left, Lisa sent Emma a letter that I think shows she hasn't really changed. The letter started with an apology, but quickly devolved into justifications and subtle guilt trips. She wrote about how she was just trying to protect Emma from making life-altering mistakes, and how someday Emma would understand that an aunt's love sometimes means making difficult choices. She even had the audacity to suggest that Emma name the baby after her, saying it would be a way to keep family connections strong despite the distance. Emma and Tom are doing remarkably well considering everything they've been through. Emma switched to online classes to finish her junior year early, maintaining a 3.9 GPA despite all the stress. Tom not only got promoted to shift supervisor at work but also got accepted into a local community college's business program that offers hybrid classes. They're both excited about the baby, who's due in 3 months. The nursery at Tom's parents' house is almost finished. They went with a woodland theme that Emma designed herself. We did end up getting that restraining order against Lisa. The final straw came when she tried one last time to interfere by sending anonymous letters to every college in our state where Tom had applied for their early admission programs. The letters warned the admissions offices about accepting a teen father with supposed anger issues, completely fabricated. Thankfully, Tom's excellent recommendations from his teachers and employers spoke louder than these anonymous accusations. The judge granted the restraining order immediately after seeing our evidence file, which included all the fake social media accounts, the Torres couple's documentation, and statements from the families she had scammed through her fake counseling practice. The Torres couple, Michael and Jennifer, showed unexpected kindness through all of this. After initially planning to press criminal charges against Lisa for fraud, they decided not to pursue that route when they saw how unstable she was becoming during the small claims court hearing. They did get their money back through the court, and Lisa was ordered to pay an additional $3,000 in damages. Michael and Jennifer even sent Emma a gift basket with baby supplies and a heartfelt note expressing their hopes for her and the baby's future. Our extended family finally stopped pressuring us to reconcile with Lisa when the full scope of the adoption scam came to light. Even our Aunt Patricia, who had been Lisa's strongest defender, admitted that Lisa's actions had gone far beyond what family loyalty could excuse. The last we heard, Lisa was living in Arizona with a distant cousin, supposedly getting help for her issues, though we're choosing to keep our distance and focus on our family's healing. Emma and Tom's relationship has grown stronger through all of this. They've started attending parenting classes together at the local community center, and Tom's mom drives them to every appointment. They're young, but they're handling this situation with more maturity than many adults I know. They've even started a small social media management business together, using skills they learned helping Tom's parents with their business's online presence. Hannah and I have noticed positive changes in our family dynamics too. Jack, who was initially confused and upset about everything, has become a supportive brother to Emma. He's excited about being an uncle and has been helping paint the nursery at Tom's house. Our weekly family dinners now include Tom's family, and watching both families blend together to support these kids has been heartwarming. As for Lisa, some family members still keep in touch with her, but we've maintained our boundaries. Sometimes protecting your children means making tough choices about family, and I'm more certain than ever that we made the right one. Emma's baby shower is next weekend, and seeing her happy and supported, surrounded by people who truly care about her well-being, confirms that cutting toxic influences out of our lives was the best decision for everyone.